I start catching them on a crankbait once that water temperature gets into the 40s, right? And it starts rising into the 50s. That's the time when they'll eat a crankbait. When it's really, really cold, the baits of choice are a little different. Suspending jerk baits. This is a new shadow wrap. It's going to be coming out next month by Rapala. I'll have it up here. You guys can check it out. But these cold water jerk baits for ice out are amazing. Tools like a silver buddy, blade baits. It's got to be, in my opinion, one of the best really cold water baits that there is. I'm talking about water temperatures in the 30s. It's hard to get fish to bite certain baits at that temperature, but the silver buddy, the blade baits can get it done. And the hair jig. Hair jig is an excellent cold water tool in the 30s and the very, very low 40s. But once we get past that point, we get into crankbait time. The Shad Rap, all right, all-time greatest cold water crankbait, tight wobble, slender. I use it in all types of cover, just the grass and the rock. One of the keys is bait. I love to fish this tool around a lot of bait. Now in the cold water, in the wintertime deals, we're gonna be fishing around bait. If you're not seeing a lot of bait in the areas where you're fishing, you need to move to an area where you can find some. In the cold water, fish don't feed all that often. Their metabolism's slower. So they're going to position themselves around schools of bait, places where they don't have to swim across the lake or across the river to get a meal. They want to be able to act on it in short term. So they're going to be around bait. So I'm going to be looking for that. Now when I fish this bait, a lot of the baits that I fish is all about deflection, right? We talk about and hear about deflection strikes. You want to hit that rock and bounce it off, rip it out of the grass, and that type of stuff. Well, the Shad Rap has a subtle presence about it, and it pulls fish up off the cover. It is not as much about deflection as it is about its signature in the water. That tight wobble, that minnow presence in the water is what pulls fish up and off the cover. So I'm not, if I'm fishing this on a bluff, on a rock transition place, I'm gonna try to hit those rocks, but I'm gonna continue to fish that bait out off the cover. It's gonna pull fish up off of those breaks and they'll come up and tear into it. The same thing with early grass growth. I'll be fishing the outside grass edges and I'll definitely try to hit the grass, but a lot of the bites come on a Shad Rap on just a steady retrieve out over top the water, over top of that break line, almost like you're fishing for suspended fish. And I think a lot of times the fish that I catch on the Shad Rap are suspended fish. They're fish that are suspended around the bait that I'm fishing for in the area. If you don't make those quick adjustments, what you wind up doing is catching those 6 bass, and that's a great day. But you can go from catching 6 to moving up to catching 20 or 30 fish out of a school by changing colors, sizes, rattle chambers. Now what happens is if the color changes stop working, what I'll do then is I'll throw on something with a completely different sound chamber. Something like a lipless crankbait, a different style of crankbait, maybe a silent crankbait. Something to give that school of fish a completely different look. Now, when it comes to largemouth, cranking, it's about deflection with the wiggle wort. With smallmouth, it's not. With smallmouth, it's about pulling these fish up off the bottom. It's a whole different kind of animal. When you make the switch between largemouth and smallmouth triggers, you have to pay attention to that. I learned this over the years. I would try to fish for smallmouth exactly like I fish for largemouth, by throwing out there, hitting the rock pile, and getting that deflection deal. Well, with the smallmouth, they want to look up and they want to chase. And that's so what I do when I fish this bait, I'm fishing sometimes in 20, 25 feet of water. This bait's getting nowhere near the bottom, and it'll pull those smallmouth up to get them.
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip, and for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
You want to become a better angler?
You want to catch more and bigger bass at your local pond?
Then check out Bass University TV for hardcore bass fishing information.
Hey, I'm Pete Gluszek.
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
And this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluszek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom,
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really find that sweet spot.
you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.